Hey everybody, welcome to All Things Knit and Stitches. I'm Nicole, and this is where I like to talk about and show you guys all the stuff that I'm getting up to craft-wise. And in today's video, I want to talk about everything cross-stitch. So it's been a while since I made a video, so I thought that I would just kind of do like a mid-year review and show you all of the finishes that I've had this year so far. Fully finished and stuff that is finished but's not fully finished, as well as my current whips and some stuff that I pulled out for fall stitching. And I have a little bit of haul as well. So let's jump into the fully finished. Now, these are not in any kind of order. They're just stuff that I finished this year. And I have full details on some of them, not all of them, just because I haven't kept that great of records. But moving forward, my goal is to do videos more often so that they're not as long, and all the stuff that I'm showing you is like recent, so it's either fresh in my mind or hopefully like I can get in the habit of taking a little bit better notes, because I need to do that personally, just so I know when I start and finish something, as well as the materials I use in case I want to do something similar in a future project. So, and I want to be able to share that with you guys too. So anyway, all right, so first up is this Bee House by Primrose Cottage Stitches. Now, they have designed several of these little houses, and they are all available as PDFs in the Primrose Cottage Etsy store. This coordinates with all their other bee charts, and I just love the colors. I love how they look on the white background, and I think most of all of their bee stuff is designed to be stitched on white, and it just really pops, and I think it looks really good. So my plan is to stitch most of their bee charts. I recently finished their ABC chart, which I'll show you in a minute, and my kitchen has bee accents. I have open shelves, and so I would like to get a lot of this stuff stitched so that I can display it on those shelves. So looks like I stitched this on an 18 count white Aida, and I would have used all the called for colors. And then this is just a little frame that I found at Home Goods, and I thought it fit in there pretty well. So that's the first one. Next up is another bee chart or little bee sampler. This is found in the Needlework Marketplace cookbook that they put out every year, and this is in the one from 2023. And I just really like this little sampler. I love to stitch houses. I also like letters, and then it had like the little bees and the little bee hives, and so I found this frame at Home Goods as well with the bee, and I thought this fit in there really well. So, and that's also on an 18 count. It looks like natural. So next up is this Love You Too pattern by Hands On Design, and she has a ton of these free patterns on her website. She designs one, I think, every year for their anniversary, and so I just downloaded a bunch, and I finished 2 of them this past year, and so I hope to get a few more done next year. But I stitched this on a 25 count or 28 count, looks like a natural or just like a cream Lugana. I don't have the exact color, and I used the called for colors for the floss, and I finished it very similar to the picture, and I just left off this little piece of stitching that is done on a perforated paper. But I love the way this looks. I love the little birds. Next up is this free pillow pattern from October House Fiber Arts, and this is So this is something that I've had for quite a while. So I used to stitch years and years ago, and I kind of got away from it and just kind of put everything away. And then about 2 years ago, a little over 2 years ago, I got back into cross stitching. And so I pulled out all of my stuff, and this was something that I had started. And I had started it on linen back when I stitched before, but when I restarted stitching, I wasn't confident to stitch on linen again. So I restarted this for a third time or a second time on Ada, and got a little bit of it done. Valentine's Day passed, so I put it aside, stitched for the next year. February comes back around, and I pull it out. Well, now I don't want to stitch it on Ada, I want to stitch it on something higher. So I started for the third time on this 28 count white and fully finished it. So the only modification I made was, instead of doing the stripe designs on the hearts, I just made each one a solid color. And I just picked one of the called for colors. These are all DMC, and I just did each one a different color. And I love the way this turned out. I think it's really pretty. And she does chart it for Gentle Art and Weeks, but she always does a DMC conversion, which I really appreciate, and so I just did DMC. Okay, the next one is this Patient and Kind, which is a little sampler that I downloaded from Etsy. And they have two different finishing. So this one, which is a couple different colors, and then they have this photo, which shows it framed and just using two different colors. So that's more of the way I did it. And so I finished mine on this, what looks to be 14 count vintage country mocha. And I used the colors, this uniform blue and this sanguine from Weeks Dye Works. And I love the way this turns out. And I've really been drawn to samplers. I love stitching letters, and so I think I want to have a sampler going at all times. And this frame I found at Home Goods as well. Okay, so my next finish, these little flowers. Okay, so these are a free pattern from October House Fiber Arts that she sends for sellers to use as like a free gift, or like we can kit them up or whatever. And so I wanted to stitch these up because it's just like the chart, and I love the way these look. I love the colors. I'm sure this is like a 28 count, but I'm not sure what it is because it's probably just some scrap that I had, and I would have used like the DMC. And so I sell October House Fiber Art patterns in my Etsy store, straight stitched. And so if you purchase one of her patterns from me, I will send one or all three of these to you as like a free gift. And if you're interested in them, if you like them, you can always contact me on Etsy through my shop, and it's straight stitched on Etsy. And the frames, I just got these from Michael's, and they come in a bunch of different colors, but I really like the wood with the different colors. Okay, my next fully finished is this little heart pillow from the Love Notes by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I really wanted to just do these two right here. I really like the simplicity of those. And so I got this one done this past year, and I think it's just so pretty. I really think that sometimes the simplest things are the prettiest. And this is a perfect example of that. And this is looks like 32 count vintage country mocha, maybe 28 because I stitch on both. And this is just DMC colors. From Hands On Design is this Love You pillow. And I had this blush fabric left over from another project. So this is 32 count blush. And so I kept the 3799 is this darker gray. And then I probably, well, I just picked a pink that would look good on top of this. I didn't write it down. But I love the way this turned out. It's so pretty. And one more fully finished. So I have this Love Begins at Home by Count Your Stitches. And this was just a PDF that I downloaded from their Etsy website. And their shop is right here, Count Your Stitches Co. on Etsy. And I know they have a couple others. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at their site in a while, but they had a spring one, I know for sure, because it had like a little umbrella design. And I just finished it in this glass floating frame that has its own stand. And I like using these. One, it showcases the stitching really well because it's like, it just kind of highlights that. And two, anytime you have like a kind of weird shape that doesn't fit into like a frame, like a specific size, like a 5x7, 8x10, you can use these because you can kind of manipulate the frame and the spacing a little bit better, depending on how much room you leave with your stitching. And so you can kind of make it look like it fits in there pretty well. And then the glass just kind of acts as like a mat. And it's super easy to, I need to like straighten this a little bit. And so you just kind of have to maneuver it in between the pieces of glass. But I'll mess with that a little more to get it in there perfect. But I love displaying stuff like this where it's just showcasing the stitching. And this looks like it's on this is like 25 count natural Lugana, and I would have used the called for colors, DMC. Okay, so next I'm going to show you finished. Okay, so first up in the finished is this wordplay by With Thy Needle and Thread for January. And I finished this on 25 count natural. I would have done a DMC conversion for this. I did change the snow and the snowman to this blue shade because it was charted for white because this is a darker fabric. And I had big ambitions of doing all of these this year, and I just kind of fizzled out after this. I really did go into just kind of a stitching funk from, you know, after January, February, and, you know, into probably like early to mid-June. I got back into stitching. I just wasn't, nothing was like just sparking my interest, and I just wasn't doing a lot. I maybe worked on a couple things. I have, you know, whips from earlier, but I just didn't like really like enjoy sitting down and doing that. And I've been doing a lot of knitting and working on that side of things. So I just kind of didn't get these done the way that I really, really wanted to. But I do have several of them, and so I'm collecting all of the patterns, and hopefully I can get them all stitched eventually, because I really do love the style of the words and the little scenes. And so I'm not sure if I'll get any more done this year, but I definitely would like to get them done, you know, in full. So that's one. Okay, next up is a recent finish, and this is these Crow Sampler by Heart and Hand. And I'd done most of this last year. This is 14 count Ada that I dyed orange. I love the way the fabric turned out. It has, you know, some different dark and light shades, and then it's got a couple of little like kind of darker spots from when I put it in the oven. and I just love the way it turned out. I had fun messing with, you know, dyeing and stuff, and I've recently gotten back into that on some higher count fabric, some more neutrals and stuff. So definitely love this. Most of it was done last year. I had a little bit of the bird and then this section right here to do. So when I pulled everything out for fall and Halloween, I just went ahead and finished this because it just had very little to do, and I love doing one color stitching, so definitely love this. The color, I think, is 310. Yeah, 310. And again, this is 14 count Aida that I dyed. And another sampler, of course. So this is another piece of the fabric, and I really do love how it turned out, like the modeling and the like darker. And this is the Salem Sisters Apothecary, which is a Primrose Cottage. Let me grab the chart. Okay, so I have the chart, but I don't have the cover sheet, so I'll try to pop a picture in here. But it is all black stitch, and they have it done on like I think Vintage Country Mocha. And so I kind of started this, like you can see I got a little bit, and so I'm debating if I want to do it on this or not. I really do like this fabric. I just don't know if maybe it would look better on like a more neutral. And so that's like, I'm debating. And plus I like stitching on higher count, but because I dyed this, I really do want to use it. So I probably will keep going on it. I just don't know if I'll pick it back up this year, but I wanted to show you this, a bigger piece of that fabric I dyed. Okay, next up is another recent finish and start. So this is October 31st, and this is out of the Winds of Autumn book by Blackbird Design. And this is the piece that I did, and I'll show you a bigger picture. So here's a really good picture of it. And I think it calls for, so it calls for Tombstone by R&R, but I had this piece that I dyed last year. This is 14 count Aida that I dyed gray, and it actually looks purple, but either one is a really good color for Halloween. And I just love this fabric, so I just got this book, and immediately I kit this up and started stitching on it. And this was one of those stitches that I did start to finish, didn't work on anything else. I think I did this in 3 days. So it was a real pleasure to stitch. It was very simple to stitch. I love one color stitching, like I said. And I haven't decided how I'm gonna finish this, but I think I'm gonna finish it in a hoop. I have to look and see what I have and how it looks as far as the size. But I was thinking about painting one black, like a matte black, and then finishing it that way. So hopefully I have that on my next Flosstube to show you. And I have these two kitted up as well that I want to get done. This one's really pretty. This will be like a future stitch, and this one on the back cover, the sampler is gorgeous. So I will definitely do this in the future. Probably not this year, but maybe next year. And this book is really, really well made. It shows you lots of different finishing, and it goes into detail on how to finish everything the way they show you in the book. And so it's really beautiful photography. So yeah, here's another one that's really pretty. So definitely a good buy getting this book. I love it. And I've really started to love Blackbird Designs. Okay, so I recently finished this a couple nights ago. This has just kind of been going for a while. I'd work on it here and there. And like I said, with the little bee house, I want to do most of the Primrose Cottage bee charts. And I'd like to have something going all the time. So I have to pick out a different pattern and see which one I want to do next. But all the flosses match and coordinate, and they're all, I think they're mostly designed on white. And so this one is 25 count white. I did the call for colors. The only thing I didn't do is I left this bee off the corner when I started to stitch it, and it was like too close to the A, and so I just took it out, and I was kind of tired of stitching on this, so I just was like, I'm leaving it off. I may or may not put it back in before I fully finish it, but I think it looks fine either way. So, but I love this. Just a mix of the letters and then all the different symbols to do with the bees. I love it. And I especially love this little bee trail. Okay, the next one is, I finished this earlier this year. I picked this up at Shepherd's Bush in Ogden, Utah. If you have been there, you know how amazing the store is. If you haven't, you have to go, because it is a phenomenal cross stitch store. Every square inch of their walls is covered with samples that they've stitched. They do a lot of conversions to their own thread picks and fabrics, and they are the most helpful ladies that you'll ever come across. They will take the time to help you find the perfect fabric and the perfect colors, and they're just amazing. And so this picture, I didn't see this pattern, and this picture does not do it justice. I saw the sample that they had stitched, and so I grabbed one of the ladies and I was like, what is this pattern? I love this. I need to stitch this. And so she found it for me and helped me pick out all the stuff. And this is their conversion. This is 28 count embellished by Atomic Ranch. And then this is the Shepherd's Bush color conversion. And I did one thread over 2 squares. And this summer I started doing that because I really like the coverage of that. A lot of people don't do one strand until 36 count, but I have been doing it on 28 and 32, and I really like it. And really it's just a personal preference. There are no rules. You do what you want to do. And so I love the way it looks. And so this is kind of like my go-to. It's 28 or 32 count, even weave. I'm kind of dipping my toe into linen, but I love the even weaves and Lugana, and so that's what I've been doing mostly, and then using the one strand. So I love that that's finished and the way it turned out. Okay, so this was last year that I finished this, last like Thanksgiving, and this is the Harvest Home Country by October House Fiber Arts. And then she also has the town. So these 4 little pillows that coordinate. And so I did this one last fall, and this is 14 count. I think it's natural Ada. And I would have done the DMC conversion, which she always provides. She does chart it for the overdyes, but I usually use DMC, and I changed the window color, but that's it. So now I have to decide, because I would like to make all 4, if I want to make it all on this Ada, or if I want to use a higher thread, a higher count fabric, like a 28 or a 32. And so because I probably want to put them all together, I may make them on this because I do have more of this. I don't hate stitching on Ada. It's just like a little, it's stiffer, but maybe I'll just do them all in all different counts and colors, and then that way they're all different instead of having one oddball and the rest, you know, something else. So I just have to kind of decide when I decide to pick this back up and stitch. but I do want to get the rest of these done. And they just have really subtle accents with like the pumpkins. And so, and both of these are available in my Etsy shop, straight stitched on Etsy. Okay, this is another piece that I finished last year right around Thanksgiving or Halloween. And this, I loved stitching this. Now, this is on 14 count vintage, which is a fabric you can get at Hobby Lobby. And they sell it like this. They have several 14, 16, and 18 count Aidas. And then they also have the 25 count Lugana that I showed you with the wordplay. They have several colors, and they have two that, I think they only have two, that are kind of this modeling, and this one's called Vintage, and they have one that has gray that's called Stormy. And I loved stitching this. Now, I did get the over dyes for this. It's just 3 colors because it's such a big sections that it really showcases like the over dyed effect. And I was really on a roll with this, and then I ran out of the roasted marshmallow for the house. And I remember this because I went with Jared on a work trip to Houston, and they didn't have, the store I went into just happened to not have this. And so I ended up ordering it, but I ordered toasted marshmallow instead of roasted marshmallow. And toasted marshmallow is a different brand than the roasted. So it's a totally different color. So then I had to reorder it. And so I kind of lost my momentum, but I did end up getting it finished right before. I just didn't have a chance to fully finish it. But now I'm gonna get it fully finished and be able to display it all season when Halloween comes around. So I love that. That's like one of my favorites. And she really has become one of my favorite designers. I love a lot of Stacey Nash. Okay, and just so you know what I'm talking about, this is roasted marshmallow, which is the color of the house, and this is toasted marshmallow. So 2 different brands and very, very different colors. So so yeah, it was definitely a big mistake that kind of set me back, but that's okay. I got it done in the end. So, okay. So next up is a couple of 4th of July finishes. So first up is this America the Beautiful by Heart and Hand. I've had this pattern for quite a while. I used to love to decorate year-round with Americana. Like, our house was very Americana. And then just kind of as we've moved and, like, you know, been married longer, my styles have changed. I still love Americana, and I love decorating 4th of July. But I just kind of have become more like neutral. But honestly, like, I am starting to get back into that like very vintagey, antique, Americana kind of thing. So I don't know. Anyway, so I started this last year on 14 count toast Aida. I like the red, white, blue on the darker fabric. And so I picked it back up this year. And even though all I had done was the A, I just decided to continue on this Aida. And I love the way it turned out. It's just a really simple design. The only modification I made is the light blue stars are specialty stitches. And so instead of doing those, I just copied the pattern for these stars that are under the A, and I just did those instead, because a lot of the times specialty stitches are just easier to do on linens, or like when you're doing 2 over 2, because you have to, like, sometimes you just use that one square, and so it's a little harder to do. I have done it on Aida, but I don't know, I just was like, I'm just gonna stitch them the same because I like the style of this star. So I think it looks fine, and nobody would ever know except me anyway, so it's fine. And then, so this right here, the Grand Old Flag Tube by With That Needle Thread, this is kind of probably what restarted my stitching like mojo, because like I said, I kind of got in a funk after like Valentine's Day, and just really wasn't motivated to stitch anything. And I saw this and I was like, okay, I love that. I need to get it stitched. So I started with this 1776, did it pretty quickly in a couple of days. This is 32 count cappuccino by Fiber on a Whim. I used the called for colors for the like taupe color and the red, which is 22 and 3032, and then she charted it for tartan plaid, which is an overdyed, for the blue, and I just switched it to 935. Like I just grabbed a blue out of my DMC that I thought looked good, and I think it looks really good. So I did this one first, and then started working on the flag. And even though it had kind of resparked my stitching mojo, it was after 4th of July, and I know I just have a couple of stripes left, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I can't stitch on this anymore. I need to move on. And so it's kind of good though, because it'll be very instant gratification when I finish it next year when I get back into patriotic stitching. And then I want to do this one, so pretty quickly I can have these 3 pillows done and fully finished for a display. So I love this, everything about it. And I did that 1/2 as well. Okay, so I think that's all I have for finished. So now I'm going to show you my recent whips that I've been working on. Then I'm going to show you the stuff I pulled out for like fall stitching. Okay, so first up is, this was a stitch along that I saw on Instagram. I can't remember who did it, but I'll try to link it or put the name below with the hashtag. But it was for this Holly banner, and here's a big picture of it. And I really was drawn to the house. It's just a beautiful color. I love stitching houses. I love stitching letters. And this is just really simple. A lot of like bigger pieces, or you know, they seem so like just like so much work, but this just doesn't. It just seems very simple. Also, I love that there's lots of room for personalization and adding in family initials. So I'm going to do all of the stitching and then go back and decide if I want to just put the 3 of us, myself, Jared, and Jay, our son, or if I want to add in, you know, my parents, in-laws, siblings. I mean, you have tons of room, so you really could put your whole family in here if you wanted to. But like I said, I'm going to stitch it all, and then I'll decide, you know, once it's done, how I want to tackle that. But I love this. And I just got a little start on it, but I'm really glad that I started it. Because now everything's together. I've got a good start. I'll probably take it out of the hoop and just pick it back up when I start doing more Christmas stitching. But I just started up here, came down as far as I could in the hoop, and then I've just kind of been working on this branch and leaf. But I really want to get to the house and work on that. But like I said, I'll probably just put this aside and pull it back out when I start doing a lot more Christmas. And this is 32 count embellished by Atomic Ranch. And I really love their fabrics. They're very pretty. Okay, another one that is like a stitch along is this Loose Feathers by Blackbird Design. And this is a 3-part series. So summer, autumn, and winter. And it shows right here, stitching them all as one piece, which is what I want to do. And each of the patterns also has 2 other designs. And I really love both of these, so I might do those soon. And And so this was also a stitch along on that I came across on Instagram. And again, I'll link what the hashtag is. But this will just kind of be an ongoing project because I don't have a ton done. Again, I really just wanted to get it started, and it's something that I work on ongoing. But so I have this in a nerd tube, and I bought this just to try it out, and I actually really like it. And you can do it either way. I've seen people like stitch like this where it's on the inside, or you can do it where this is the side you stitch on. So it's just personal preference. It does, usually I don't like ones like the screws because they don't tighten great. I like the spring hoops, which I'll talk about when I show you a project on one, but this is actually pretty good, and you get a little bit more like space to work on. So anyway, I just started up here in the top, went across as far as I could, then down, and I'm working on this big flower, and I'll just get as much as I can done, and then, you know, just keep moving around. This is, I know it's another Atomic Ranch, but I can't remember. I'm trying to think of the name of it. I don't have the little tag, but I love it. I love their colors. So like I said, this will just kind of be something I, you know, keep working on. Who knows how long it'll take me to get them done, but I love it. One strand over 2 squares, and this is a it's probably a 32. What was this other one? Because they would have been the same. I just bought 2. Yeah, this one's 32. And so I just bought another one, but it was a different name, and I can't remember all their names. But anyway, I'll see if I'll look up the order, and then I'll know what this one's called. But this needle minder, there's a pack of 3 that came from Hobby Lobby, these little wood needle minders, and I'm not sure if they carry them anymore. They did a whole redo on their like cross stitch and yarn department, and they got rid of a lot of stuff, but they may still have those. Okay, so next up is, this is kind of a finish and a whip. So this is the Statehood Splendor series from the Thread Milk Design. And I first came across these in Shepherd's Bush. She had them all done as little pillows, and I loved it. I thought it was really cool, but I just didn't. I was like, I'm never going to do that because, you know, whatever. But then a couple months later, I was on the Thread Milk Design website looking at other stuff, and I came across them again, and it got me thinking. I was like, you know, that would be a really good project to do for all the places that we've lived. So Jared, my husband, is a Marine, and so we've lived in a bunch of different states and been stationed different places. And so I decided to do the 2 states that we're from, as well as all the places that we've lived. And it's just kind of random that I started with Indiana. I had the Floss, which is Classic Colorworks Apple Fritter. And so yeah, it was just random that I grabbed this and started because it was one color. I really love the variegation. I just happened to have it. Kentucky is also a solid color, except for just a little bit of green, but it doesn't look as variegated. So I'll just kind of decide when I pull it out if I'm going to do the DMC or if I'm going to, if I actually want to do the overdyed. So anyway, so let me show you the ones I have and kind of tell you what I'm doing. Okay, so first up, Jared is from Michigan. I've never lived in Michigan, but I wanted to do that since that is like where he's from. I am from North Carolina, so I'm doing North Carolina, plus we have been stationed there twice. This is where we met and got married. He was stationed at Cherry Point, and then we moved to Indiana, which was the first one I did. And we lived all over Indiana. Started in South Bend, Elkhart, went down to Kokomo, which is like more the middle of the state. Then we went back up to Fort Wayne, and then we transferred to North Carolina. And so then we lived in Goldsboro, which was closer to my sister and my dad. And then we moved to Raleigh, which still wasn't very far from them. And we lived there for like 3 years. And then we got orders to Kentucky. And so I had the Kentucky one. And we were in Kentucky twice. The first time, I can't remember the years. I'm really bad with years, but Jay he did kindergarten through 3rd grade there. And then we moved to South Carolina. And here's the South Carolina. And this is like the symbol for like the low country. And so we were stationed at Paris Island, right on the water. And this was probably our favorite place that we've ever lived. It was just a super fun time. Jay did 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade there. Then we went back to Kentucky. He did 6th grade through 9th grade in Kentucky. Then we moved to Virginia and were stationed at Quantico, Virginia. He finished up high school there, and that was like where we went through COVID and just all of the craziness that surrounded that. And then we got stationed to Texas, and so we moved to Texas, and that's where we live now. And Jay graduated in Virginia, and he came with us to Texas, and so he's been in college. And we are going to retire here. Jared retires summer 2026, and we'll definitely retire here and probably stay here for the foreseeable future. We both love it, so we'll see what the future holds. Never say never, but right now that's the plan. And so I just thought this would be a really cool project to have that's very unique to us, and it's just, you know, all the places that we've lived. And the really cool thing about these are that she has, well, it's on the, sorry. Oh, okay. So she, you know, has all the facts on the state, like when it became a state, and what number it was, and just like kind of explains like all the, because I was like, what, why is there like an arrow and like a TP, and it just kind of goes over all of that in the description that she includes, and it's just like super cool. So definitely a really cool project. It is all charted for overdyes, but she did a thread conversion on her site, and so I just went through and figured out which ones that I needed for the states I'm doing, and just pulled the DMC. And yeah, so this is the 25 count Lugana that you can get at Hobby Lobby. It's very inexpensive. I bought a couple packages of that, and I'm gonna just do all of them on this and turn them into little pillows. So I love this. It'll just be an ongoing project. So absolutely love it. Okay, so this is also something I've been working on that I absolutely love. I've kind of liked these for a while. I debated if I wanted to do them or not. They seem a little intimidating at first, but they actually are really easy, because it's like stitching a one color piece, because you just have to do, you know, it's like you just look at it as like one color and do all of this, then all of the next color. And so that's kind of the way I tackled it, is that I started in the corner, went over to where the blue stops. I stitched down as far as I could in the hoop, did all of this, went over and finished the blue, and then I started the orange and went over to where it stops, and then I'm just gonna do all of that. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna move it down and finish these two colors, or if I'm gonna move it over and go all the way across and finish the top, or which way I wanna do it. Now, I may get another nerd hoop and do it in a bigger hoop so I have more room, but I love these spring hoops. They are super easy to move around. They are really easy to just get the perfect tension, and I love using them. I try to use them the majority of the time. I have way too much stuff going all the time, and I'm really bad about taking the hoops off of stuff when I put it down, but I'm trying to get better at that so that they're not staying there for a while, because it can kind of mess up your stitches. I haven't had any issues at all, but like they say, you know, not to leave it up there. Anyway, this is a piece of fabric that I dyed. It is just 28 count Lugana, and I tea-dyed it because I just wanted a little bit of antiquing and distressing, and I love the way it turned out. I think it looks really good with the colors. I'll link this Etsy shop. They have really cool needle minders. I just thought this was really cute, and I love Halloween. I love murder mysteries and true crime and all of that, so I thought that was really cute. And I love the size of it because it's just small for just like a needle, especially when you're using a smaller hoop. You just don't want it to take up like a ton of room. So I absolutely love this. Love the colors. This has been what I've been working on the last couple of nights, and I just love it. I do also have the summer and the spring, and I ordered the winter, and I'm waiting on that one to come because I really do love that, and I'll show you that when I get to like haul. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to go through are the whips that I pulled out and stuff that I'm debating. Okay, so first up is this Falling from Plum Street Samplers. I absolutely love this. I got this last year, started a little bit. Not sure what this is. It's a 14 count, not sure of the color, but it looks like a tweed. And don't want to stitch on 14 count anymore. Want to do like a 32. And I have a piece of 32 Confederate gray, which is what it calls for, that I'm doing some smalls on. And so I may just do those first, see what size I have left. Or I may just dye a piece of fabric to do this on. But either way, I want to get this done. I love how they're like meeting under the tree with the autumn leaves. I love the horses. I think it's super cute. So I definitely want to get this done. So I will be restarting that. And I have all the floss, so I just have to find the perfect fabric to restart that on. Okay. Next up is the Pumpkin Row by October House Fiber Arts, and I got really far last year when I started this. So, but no, this is that 14 count natural, and as you can see, I didn't get very far. So I think I'm gonna restart it on something like a 32. And what I was thinking about is instead of doing all these different patterns, which I think is super cute, I think I'm just going to take one of the called for colors and just do each pumpkin a different color, because they are different shapes and then there'll be different colors, and it'll be kind of like I did here where I just did the hard solid colors. So I think that's what I'm going to do, and this will probably be something I start working on pretty soon, because I love her little skinny pillows and I definitely want to get that done. Okay, a couple of things I also pulled out were these two. Now these I think were in the fall sip and stitch box last year. So if you don't know what that is, they do a mystery box a couple times a year, and they never tell you what the theme is, but it usually has 1 or 2 patterns, maybe 3. I think they sent all the floss and all the finishing for this, and then I'll have stickers. and there's always like some kind of mug or a tumbler in there with the theme, and it's just really fun to get because you just it's like exciting because you don't know what's in there, and so it's like a surprise. And if you like their style, you are pretty much guaranteed to love whatever they put in there. They do a really phenomenal job at you know, designing and putting the boxes and stuff together. And so I love both of these. They do wait a couple of months and then they release them to everyone else. So these are both available in my Etsy shop. And anyway, so I got a little bit start on these last year because I had to start them. So I definitely want to get these finished. So it did include all of the overdyes, and usually I don't use overdyes for a lot of stuff because it can just get very costly, but they were included, and this fall right here shows you why they're worth their money, because this is absolutely beautiful and it really showcases how they can be really pretty, the variegation, and just add so much to it than that, like just, you know, stitching that in an orange, it would still be beautiful, but it just would not be that. So this is like why people love overdyed. Now all of them are not always this variegated. A lot of times they just are a solid, but this is why you spend the money on them. So anyway, definitely want to get this done. And this is a 28 count. I think it's light taupe. So love the fabric, happy with that. So definitely want to get that going. And this one, the autumn quilt, love these colors together. Just got a tiny start on it last year, and I was smart enough to put a little T in the top, so I knew that that was the top, so that when you pick it back up, it's oriented the right way. And definitely want to get this. Love the colors together. Again, 28 count light taupe, which is perfect. And so both of these definitely need to get stitched. Okay, this one actually kind of falls into the more recent, this is something I've been working on recently. It just kind of got mixed up here, but okay. So I bought this last year. I think it was last year. Might have been the year before, but I think it was last year and I just never got to it. But anyway, this is the Casting a Spell book by Blackbird Design, and I fell in love with this and how it's finished in this box. This is from Hobby Lobby. All of the info is in the pattern, and they painted it black, and you just make all these little pillows. If you use the called for, they'll fit in there. And I love this, but I'm not doing this. So I've done the initial. I want to do the crow. I want to do one of these stars. They're the same, they're just reversed. I'd like to do the Halloween, and then I want to do this as one pillow, which is shown on the back. Now they just divided it up so that it would fit in these two compartments. Same thing on this side, they just divided it up, and then it shows the full pillow on the back. But here you can see the box closed with, because it has a glass top, and it is like really pretty. And I may get one and do something else with it, but I don't want to do all of them and finish it that way. I don't think. I just want to do a couple of them and then just have them in a tiered tray or a little bowl. But I am using the called for fabric, which is 32 count Confederate gray linen, and I'm using all of the overdyed. It's 4 colors, so I went ahead and got those. I did the initial with my letter, or the letter N, and then I started the border for this is the alphabet. And so I'm gonna just see if I can fit all those little ones on here and see if I have enough left for the falling. I have to look at the stitch count because it might be bigger than I think it is, but it probably would have enough room if depending on how much of this I use. But anyway, so, and this is another one of those wood that was in that set. So love that. Been working on that. Okay, so this is what I pulled out of my whips. I started this last year. This is the Honeybee Quaker from Primrose Cottage. And I didn't get very far, and now I don't want to do it on this 14 count Ada. It's pretty stiff, and I think I just want to do it on like a 25 count white Lugana like I did the ABC. So I'm pretty sure I'm just going to restart this, but this might be the next thing I do since I want to keep a bee theme going pretty regularly. So I'm probably going to, switch all the floss over to this and get started on this on a different fabric. Okay. I think that I got a couple more down here hiding. Okay. So, Autumn Quaker. Now I started this September of 23. So, I love her Quakers. She's done several at Primrose Cottage. The color of this is really beautiful. It's a color and cotton pumpkin pie. And I bought the finishing kit, so I have the rickrack and the backing and everything. And so I just need to get this done. I'm not sure if they still have this finishing kit, but they do sell those on their website or on Etsy. Actually, I think they did just switch to a website. So they might, I don't know if they're switching everything over or if they're going to keep both, but it's pretty recent. So I would just check Etsy if you're interested in the kit, but I think their website is primrosecottage.com. I don't know, but I'll put a link to it in the show notes. But I sell the pattern in my Etsy shop, but if you want the finishing kit, if they still carry it, they sell that in their store. Now I do sell these patterns I carry in my shop, and I do have the finishing kit for this in my Etsy shop, Straight Stitched. Okay, anyway, so I got a little start on this last year, and I really want to get this done. This is 28 count mushroom, and so I'll definitely try to get this stitched up this year. I have so much fall that I want to do. It's probably like one of my favorite things to stitch, fall and Halloween. And I'm actually starting really early because most people are still doing, they're like just doing, like a lot of people do bees in August, samplers, people do stuff all year long. I don't like stitching on holidays, like outside of that holiday. I usually, at some point, and I started early this year, but I was just I was just in the mood to stitch fall and Halloween already. I just started like a couple weeks ago, and so now that's like kind of what I'm doing. But when I get sick of doing that, I'll switch over to Christmas. And so I still have a lot of time, the rest of August, September, October, November. So it just kind of depends on how long I stay in that mood, because I still have, several months to get a lot of this stuff done if I can stay in that mood, which I probably will, because it'll be, that season, and I'll have the decor out and everything. So I'll probably stay, wanting to stitch this stuff. We'll see. Everything, is always up in the air. You never know what's gonna happen. But anyway, so definitely want to get this done. I'm happy with the fabric and the color, and so I just need to get that going again. No reason to restart it. It's perfect. Okay. So next up is this Welcome Autumn from Primrose Cottage. And as you can tell, I really like Primrose Cottage. I pretty much love everything they do. They're really great designers. I just like their style, and they really are part of the reason my interest in cross stitch got sparked again, because I just really love watching their YouTube. It was them and Fat Quarter Shop I started watching, and just really got back into cross stitch. And they're lovely ladies. They're fun to watch. They're sisters and the mom. And I mean, if you watch YouTube, Flosstube, and you are into stitching, you know who they are because everybody knows who they are because they're just the sweetest. Anyway, so I got a lot of this done last year. This is the 14 count vintage that you can get at Hobby Lobby, and I just have a little bit on this side, the acorns, and then this, and so I definitely can get this done, you know, pretty soon, and so I need to get working on that. And I'm so far into it, and I'm pretty happy with the way it looks, so I'm just going to leave it on the Ada, obviously. Okay, so I think that's all the fall whips and things. And so the next thing I'm going to show you are stuff that I have either recently acquired or patterns that I pulled out that I haven't started, but I want to possibly get started on them. So first up is the Halloween tier tray by Madame Chantilly. And I love all of her tier trays. She just does such a good job at just, you know, placing everything and the colors, and I love this one. So I definitely want to get this done. And she has another one, like a bee one, that I love. I think she just released it this summer, but I don't know that for sure, but I love that one, so I'm definitely doing that one too for my bee stuff. But anyway, I really want to get this done. I have all the floss pulled, the DMC, and then I'm just waiting on a piece of platinum, and I'm gonna make sure all the white and everything shows up really well on the fabric, and then I'm gonna get started on this. I don't know if I'll finish it because it's a pretty decent size. It's 157 by 241, so I don't know if it'll get finished because I may not want to work on it nonstop, but I definitely want to get it started because I love it. Okay, another one of hers that I love is this autumn delivery, and there's two versions. There's this like autumn girl, and then there's this witch, and this is the version that I want to do with the witch. I love her dress and like the purple accents and the purple rope. So all of this is the same, it's just the outfit she's wearing. And so I'm gonna do the witch, and I pulled all the floss. Again, I just have to wait on some fabric, make sure it all looks good, and then I will get started on that. Okay, so this is another new acquisition, and one that I have pulled all the floss, just have to pick a fabric, and I'd like to get this stitched this year. So what I usually do is I'll pull a bunch of stuff out that I want to, that I like, just kind of is like speaking to me for that season, and I'll pull the floss, or, you know, buy all the floss, and then get the fabric and stuff, and then I'll put it together. And then if I start it, I'll usually leave it kitted together, and if I don't start it, I'll just unkit it and put everything back so that I have that floss for other projects. So anyway, so this is one of the ones I just got, and I really want to get this done. It's not super big. It's just 4 colors, an orange, a green, a taupe, and like a gold. And I don't love the taupe color. When I pick the floss, or the fabric, I may change that to a different color, but I just really have no idea what I would do it in. And I just have to pick like a fabric that I like, but definitely would like to get this stitched. Like I said, I love samplers and the big pumpkin, so that would be really cool to get done. Okay, not a fall, but a new acquisition that I love, this Christmas sampler by the Scarlet House. And like I said, I've really been into stitching and just drawn to samplers. I love the style of these letters, and although I've really been more thinking I was going to do samplers in one color, I love these three colors together, and I pulled them, the DMC, and they are really pretty colors. And so I think I will do this in the three colors. And this is just more of a Christmas sampler, so I don't know if I'll save it for Christmas stitching, or I may start it in September, because a lot of people do sampler September. So okay, another sampler is this Hometown Holiday by Lori Holtz, and I saw this on the Fat Quarter Shop YouTube. And again, I love the style of the letters and just all the accents, and so I may start it next month, or I may save it for Christmas. But I bought the 25 count Lugana in natural to stitch it on from Hobby Lobby, and then I pulled all of the DMC, and so I have this all ready to go whenever I feel like working on it. So either next month or Christmas. Okay, this is another new acquisition. This Goodness and Plenty by Plum Street. I saw this, I had to have it. I love all of it. I love the little alphabet and the crow, and I just love it. So I want to do all three of these exactly the way they are. I pulled all the DMC, and then this is I have 3 pieces cut to the right size for the 3 pillows, and this is a 28 count Lugana that I tea-dyed as well to do the stitching on. So this one I will definitely probably either leave it together because I've already cut the fabric to size, or I will get stitch on it. But if I don't stitch on it, I won't unkit this. I'll probably just leave it together for next year. Okay, I downloaded a bunch of Stacey Nash off her website, or off of Etsy, and this Elizabeth Thompson pin keep is so pretty. I love the style, and it's hard to see the colors, but I pulled all the colors, and I think it'll be really pretty on the right fabric. And I even think this color is super pretty, this 3772, and so even if it was all done in that color, I think it would be really pretty. So another thing for sampler September, or maybe just whenever I want to get started on that. This one is the Butternut House pin keep, and I absolutely love this. Like I said, I love stitching houses. I love the color of the house. The only thing I was thinking about changing is maybe taking the faces off the pumpkins and just having pumpkins, solid orange pumpkins down there. But either way, it's super cute. I love it. I pulled all of the DMC, and so I just have to dye or get a piece of fabric to go with this, and I'd love to get this started for this year as well. I also ordered this sampler Seasons Autumn from Blueberry Ridge from Annabelle's, and I got Autumn Spice as the color. The called for is rust, but I didn't like the brownie like color. This is 32 count Vintage Country Mocha, but I just think this will be really pretty because it's very variegated. I did start the spring one, but I didn't get very far. But I love all of these, and I'd like to get all of those done eventually. So I have all of this ready to go. Not sure if it'll get done this year or started this year, but I have it all together. And Annabelle's is one of my go-tos on Etsy because she just has a really good selection of stuff, and she usually does a lot of sales too. Okay, so Thread the Needle Stitchery was having a sale, so I think I got a bunch of stuff from them, but I picked up this imprint Harvest and Home. So just these 2 little stitches, super quick. These would make really good gifts too, just smalls. I love that. I also have the summer and the spring, and I ordered the winter from someone else, and it's on the way. And so I definitely want to get all of these done eventually. And I love all of the color choices on all of them except for this red. I just think it's very bright compared to the blue and the green. So when I get to summer, I may switch these out to something else, but we'll see what happens when I get around to that one. But pick those up. Also have this Faith Fall at Pansy Patch Manor by Pansy Patch Quilts and Stitchery. Love the way the tree is and the little wagon, and this is just really pretty. Not sure I'll get this going this year, but I liked it, so I picked that up. Also picked up this Each Day Road by Bent Creek, and it's just got really pretty houses, and I just really like that. And then these next three I picked up from the Cross Stitch Nook. And so I've been watching Lori Holt's videos. I started at her first Flosstube, and I've just kind of been watching them in order. So I'm getting newer and newer. And in one of the recent ones, she started working on these. And I've seen them before, and I really liked them, so I decided to start collecting them. And I'm not sure when I'm going to start it, but I do want to get these done. Now, they, a lot of people, the concept is you stitch each one on a different linen, and then you sew them all together, and you kind of have this patchwork. And I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make all of mine into little pillows. Now, I'm not sure. I may use different fabric. I may do them all in the same fabric, but I'm definitely going to stitch them all on little pillows. And so they had these three. It's 1, 3, and 6. And so I'm just going to start collecting all of these and start working on them, you know, at some point. Okay, a couple other things I downloaded from Stacey Nash off of Etsy is this Harriet Brown Redwork sampler, and another thing I saw on Lori Holt's YouTube, and I absolutely love this. So had to download this and need to get this going because it really is beautiful. It's, again, just very simple but beautiful. My fan is blowing everything around, but I'm above the garage, and I don't think they insulated the floor from the garage, so it can get pretty hot in here, and it gets really cold in the winter. Anyway, so I have the fan on, and it's blowing all my papers everywhere. Okay, so the To My Friend pin keep, I just loved all the different designs, and this picture of them all stacked. I love this, so I have that. Okay, so I think that's everything I want to show you today. Like I said, moving forward, I'd really like to do videos more often and get on a more regular schedule, and that way the videos aren't as long and everything is kind of fresh in my mind of what I've been working on. Anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed looking at everything. Hopefully I wasn't too rambly, and I hope that you get in some crafting time or whatever it is that makes you happy. And until next time.